Welcome back to the Dover International Speedway for the Gander RV 400. This is the second of the Dover doubleheaders, with Martin Truex Jr. winning the first race of the doubleheader. Which driver will be able to get the win here today? Now let's take a look at some of your drivers to watch, presented by Pro Your Tires. Martin Truex Jr. is your driver to watch after winning at the first Dover race. He starts 20 after the top 20 invert, and he's looking to get Toyota's third consecutive win in a row. Speaking of Toyota, Christopher Bell will start on pole today after the invert. He's currently 30th in the point standings, not a very good rookie season. He's looking to take advantage of the pole position today and hope to get a good performance. Speaking of good performances, Joseph West has his career best finish of 4th place in the first Dover race. He's currently 23rd in the points, and he starts 16th after the invert. What can he do today? But the big news in the garage today is that Kyle Busch starts from the rear today and was docked 10 points for reckless driving in the first Dover race. He is going to hopefully try to work his way back up from the back as he puts himself into a deep points hole. Now let's head trackside for the command to fire engines.
Drivers, start your engines!
The engine has been fired and we are ready to go racing here today from the Dover International Speedway. Your pace car driver today is Evan Taddy, and he is going to be driving the 1998 Chevy Pro Stock S10. Now again, if you would like to be the pace car driver, make sure you find Terry's RV somewhere along the track. Now let's take a look at some of your race facts for today's race. There are 33 cars in today's race, and numerous cars will have to go to the rear today. 3 because of inspection failures: Brad Keselowski, Corey LaJoie, and Cole Custer, who Cole Custer had an L1 penalty and lost 5 points because of that. Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Eric Almirola all had to go to backup cars because of their wrecks in the first Dover race, and the 18 car of Kyle Busch with his penalty. We are now ready for segment number 1 to begin. In row 1, we have 2 rookies, the 95 car of Christopher Bell and the 8 car of Tyler Reddick. In row 2 is the 31 car of Daniel Hemrick and the 21 car of Matt DiBenedetto. In row 3, 2 Summit City Racing teammates, the 28 car of Joseph West and the 08 car of Kyle Larson. In row 4, 2 Stuart Haas teammates, Clint Boyer and Kevin Harvick. Then running in the field, your reigning Nascar NAHWCS Cup Series champion, Jimmy Johnson. A tough break for the 21 team, and Matt DiBenedetto is out of this race after 3 laps in the segment. So let's take a look at the replay to see what kind of happened. Here it is, lap 1 at the start of the race. It was off the bat. Daniel Hemrick was able to get around Christopher Bell from the 3rd position and take the lead early on, as he would command the first 3 laps so far. Heading into lap 2. Again, Hemrick gets a great jump off the gate and would end up getting a big run to block Christopher Bell, and that entire bottom lane derailed off the track. Then heading to the lap 3, I think this is where we'll see what happened to Matt DiBenedetto. But again, another great jump for Daniel Hemrick, as he got a great push by Jimmy Johnson, and I think DiBenedetto just lost a ton of speed there, as we got 1 lap to go in segment number 1. Joseph West and Tyler Reddick are out of this race. Not what those drivers wanted to see, as they got wrecked. We'll try to see what happened, but Jimmy Johnson gets the segment win, his first of the year, surprisingly, as he looks to try to get back into the playoff hunt. He was currently far back in the playoffs and needs a ton of points if he wants to try to get into the playoffs, and I'm not quite sure what happened to Joseph West or Tyler Reddick. Looks like they ran out of steam as they were coming to the front stretch. Jimmy Johnson's going to finish first, Daniel Hemrick second, Clint Boyer finishes third, Kyle Larson fourth, Christopher Bell with a solid fifth place performance, Kevin Harvick sixth, Tyler Reddick seventh, Joseph Weston eighth, and Matt DiBenedetto in ninth. We now move on to segment number 2. In row 1 is the 11 car of Denny Hamlin and the 9 car of Chase Elliott. In row 2, the 6 car of Ryan Newman and the 20 car of Eric Jones. In row 3, the 42 car of Matt Kenseth and the 2 car of Brad Keselowski. Then rounding out the field is the 32 car of Corey LaJoie and the 10 car of Eric Almirola. Chase Elliott gets a pretty big segment win as we take a look at the replay of the last stage. Lap 1, Eric Jones almost derails off the track. He was able to get back on it, but ultimately run out of steam near the end as Denny Hamlin would lead lap 1. Heading to lap number 2, Elliott would get a great push from Keselowski, and this would allow Elliott to take the lead from Denny Hamlin and to get his first lead of the segment, and it's looking pretty good for Chase Elliott. He really needed that segment win. And heading to lap 3, this time he has Ryan Newman as a pusher, and he's able to get out front, block Denny Hamlin, and get a pretty good-sized lead on the field. Then heading to the final lap of the segment, he was able to hold off Ryan Newman and Eric Jones, who had very strong cars, as Newman had the jump at first, but Elliott was able to storm back and dominate that lap. As a heck of a performance for Chase Elliott. It's kind of what he needs to turn his season around. As Elliott is going to finish first, Eric Jones second, Ryan Newman third, Corey LaJoie finishes fourth, Matt Kenseth fifth, Eric Almirola sixth, Denny Hamlin seventh, and a poor 8th place performance for Brad Keselowski. We now move to segment number 3. In row 1, he got the 37 car of Ryan Preece and the 12 car of Ryan Blaney. Then in row 2, the 88 car of Alex Bowman and the 3 car of Austin Dillon. In row 3, the 1 car of Kurt Busch and the 24 car of William Byron. Then rounding out the field, 2 best friends, the 81 car of Eddie Gallagher and the 18 car of Kyle Busch. Miles the Monster has not been kind on Eddie Gallagher, as this is his second time wrecking out in the 2 Dover races. Unfortunate for Eddie Gallagher, but let's take a look at the replay. Lap 1, Ryan Preece was able to hold the lead for just 1 lap before Kurt Busch was able to take it, and he was able to hold it pretty good. And remember, they don't have to cross the line for the first 3 laps, but on the last lap, the driver must cross the line to get the win. But this was a nice pass that Kurt Busch made on Ryan Preece, as he gave Ryan Preece a great push, and then Kurt Busch able to steal the show on the outside to take the lead with William Byron to his outside on the restart. And it was all pretty good run right there, and actually it looks like it might be Ryan Blaney who got into Eddie Gallagher. I'm not 100% sure if that was potential or not. Probably not. But anyway, we have 1 lap to go. Kurt Busch is able to win segment number 3 and move on to the final stage. A great performance for Kurt Busch, as I believe this is his first segment win valiant effort by Kurt Busch to get his first ever segment win. As he will finish first, William Byron finishes second, Ryan Blaney third, Austin Dillon, your points leader, finishes fourth, Kyle Busch fifth, Ryan Preece sixth, Alex Bowman seventh, and Eddie Gallagher in eighth, who wrecked out. It is now time for segment number 4. In row 1 is the 17 car of Chris Buescher and the 16 car of Chase Briscoe. In row 2, the 43 car of Bubba Wallace and the 77 car of Ross Chastain. In row 3, your reigning Dover winner, Martin Truex Jr. and the 35 car of Daniel Suarez. And rounding out the field is the 22 car of Joey Logano and the 41 car of Cole Custer. Joey Logano is out of this race after he was able to charge up through the field. So let's take a look at the replay. Here's lap 1. And Chris Buescher was able to hold the lead just for one lap. It looked like he started drifting through the corner as he got kind of pushed from Chase Briscoe. But he wasn't able to hold it for long as Martin Truex Jr. was able to pull a move that it was similar to Kurt Busch's move to pass for the lead. As here it was. He was able to give Buescher a great push, and Briscoe just got loose, and Truex was able to sneak by on the bottom to take the lead. Then heading to lap number 3. This time, Truex would get a good jump and hold off Chase Briscoe and the rest of the field to lead lap 3. Then heading to the final lap, which we will be going to overtime because of the Joey Logano wreck, as it was another good jump for Truex. It looked like Briscoe got the lead, and then Briscoe just lost all the momentum coming off the corner, and Ross Chastain's going to take the second place position as we take a look at from the GoPro to see kind of what happened to Joey Logano. And Joey Logano kind of just loses the momentum here, and as you can see, Briscoe kind of just drifts up, and that's kind of inexperience for the rookie who will be racing in the 14 car next year. So we'll go to overtime. What a performance for the Watermelon Man, Ross Chastain, as he gets yet another segment win for that Spire Motorsports team. A heck of a performance for that team, as that team has performed way better than most people expected it to, winning 2 races so far this year, and they're trying to go for their 3rd. Ross Chastain first, Chase Briscoe finishes a solid 2nd place, Cole Custer 3rd, Martin Truex Jr. 4th, Daniel Suarez 5th, Chris Buescher finishes 6th, Bubba Wallace 7th, and Joey Logano finishes in 8th. We are now ready for the Challenger race for the top 4 drivers, so we'll move on to the final stage. We will be led down by the 16 car of Chase Briscoe and the 31 car of Daniel Hemrick. So which drivers will move on to the final stage? It's been a tough day for the Penske cars, as this is the second one to wreck out, as Ryan Blaney, even though this is the Challenger race, it's not been a good day for Penske. So take a look at the replay here. Chase Briscoe was able to make up quite a pass on Daniel Hemrick after Daniel Hemrick kind of gets loose on coming off the corner, and so Briscoe would take the lead heading into lap 2, and this is kind of where all things go wrong for Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney gives a great push to Daniel Hemrick, but he kind of just loses speed and just goes for a ride. He tried to save it, but he could not. Daniel Hemrick easily takes the win in the Challenger race as we take a look at the replay. A heck of a run as he had 2 very fast runs for that 31 car, and that car is looking very strong for the playoffs. As Cole Custer would move into second heading to lap 3, but it would be similar to what happened to Eddie Gallagher in the first Dover race. He kind of get pushed off and lose all the momentum and collect majority of the cars with that wreck. But either way, Daniel Hemrick's going to win with Eric Jones, Chase Briscoe, and William Byron moving on to the final stage. Great runs for those guys. Ryan Newman's going to finish 5th, Clint Boyer 6th, Kevin Harvick 7th, then they got Austin Dillon in 8th, Cole Custer 9th, and then Ryan Blaney finishes 10th. So now we move on to the final stage. In row 1 is the 9 car of Chase Elliott and the 77 car of Ross Chastain. In row 2, the 1 car of Kurt Busch and the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson. Row 3, the 31 car of Daniel Hemrick and the 20 car of Eric Jones. And rounding out the field is the 16 car of Chase Briscoe and the 24 car of William Byron. Who will win here at Dover? Chase Elliott gets his first ever NASCAR Authentics Hot Wheels Cup Series win. A heck of a run for the 9 team as we take a look at the replay. He pretty much dominated that entire race as no one was able to pass him. As Kurt Busch made that move on the first lap to take second, he would try to get the push from Jimmy, but it would not happen. And he would keep everyone in his driver's mirror as Ross Chastain, Daniel Hemrick could not even come close to Elliott. This is a big win for Elliott, but this does not lock him in. He still has to finish top 20 in points, and we'll tell you how far he is from there as he entered today like 25th in points, I believe. But yeah, he's got some work to do in the final 2 races if he wants to make it into the playoffs based on his win. But a great job by Chase Elliott as he came into the Dover doubleheaders needing some good runs, and a win is a great way to execute that. Chase Elliott first, Daniel Hemrick finishes second, Ross Chastain third, Jimmy Johnson fourth, Kurt Busch fifth, Chase Briscoe finishes sixth, Eric Jones seventh, and William Byron finishes in eighth. Chase Elliott gets his first ever NASCAR Authentics Hot Wheels Cup Series win here today. An incredible performance for the young driver out of Georgia. Now again, we said this earlier, he needs to be inside the top 20 in points in order to make the playoffs. And we'll take a look at the playoff results in a second. But here are your race results from the second Dover race. Some notable performances today. Jimmy Johnson finishing fourth. He really needed a good run today to propel him in the point standings, and we'll take a look at that in a second. Chase Briscoe finishes sixth in his third ever start, while we had drivers who kind of struggled. Austin Dillon missing out on this segment for like one of the first times. As here are the playoff point standings from the top 20. Austin Dillon continues to get his points lead, but that playoff bubble is starting to shrink. Jimmy Johnson 7 points below the playoff bubble with only 2 races left. Ryan Newman 9 points down, as Boyer is up 7, Hamlin up 9, Harvick plus 17, Byron plus 19, and Bo Wallace, Alex Bowman, and Cole Custer have a pretty sizable gap, but they are pretty good. But numerous drivers, such as last year Daytona 500 winner Brad Keselowski, 13 points down. Those guys are going to have their work cut out for them if they want to make it into the playoffs, and there's only 2 races to do so, as there is not a lot of time. Penske has struggled so far, and they're going to need a good final 2 races if they want to get their drivers into the playoffs. Now here are your points from 21st to 39th. And again, we mentioned this earlier, Chase Elliott is 16 points below the 20th place driver, Joey Logano, right now. Everyone else plus and minus is to the playoff bubble, but Elliott just needs to get to the top 20 to make it into the playoffs as he has his win. He's only 16 points down. He's got to gain those in the final 2 races at Horseshoe Bend and at Indianapolis. As numerous drivers down here who are struggling, Kyle Busch, Matt DiBenedetto, and Chris Buescher look to improve in the final 2 races of the season. And that will be all from the Dover International Speedway. The next race track we will be coming to you from will be Horseshoe Bend, and it's a short track in Utah that should have some very exciting action. Until next time, I'm Aiden North, signing off.